All right, time to turn this hexagon into a cube. Choose the left side, click on tint 90 right there. The right side, tint 80, and the top, tint 70. Click away, and this is one of those seasoned to taste. This is not the ultimate perfect three-way color scheme that solves all problems, but it is one way to give a light source, which is coming from this direction, hitting the top most directly, and this would be the side in shade. Okay, so now let's go over to symbols. Click on the first one, shift click on the last one, and drag this down into the trash. Select this object, and let's bring it up and make it a symbol. Call it orange. And click OK. Now we have a symbol that's called orange. Break the link to that symbol. Click away to deselect. It's important that you deselect because we're going to go back to swatches and click on the blue. If this were selected, this would all turn blue. And then we're going to drag this down, double click, make it a global color, click OK, select this object, and watch when we click on blue. It remembers those tints. Isn't that cool? Come over to symbols and select that, drag this up, call this something very clever like blue, and then break the link. Deselect. Now let's make black and white, but we don't want to use black and white. In the swatches panel, we have this wonderful value ramp, and we want not the first black, which is 000. We want the second one, this 26. Let's pull that down, double click, make it a global color, click OK, select this, and click on black. Click away. There's that cube. Now we can select that, come up to symbols, and drag this up. Now, before you say, this is all the same, there's a gotcha. If you use a light color, now I want to break the link here and deselect. Since we got black, we want white. Now let's come back to swatches and not pick the second one, but the third one. I've experimented with this, and this gray cube, which represents black, goes very well with this 204 gray, which will represent our white. Once again, if that was selected and changed colors, undo. Drag this down, double click, make it a global color, click OK, select this, and click on that. Now, you may notice there's not a lot of value change here. There's not enough of a value change. This will happen with virtually all very light colors. So we need to change things. And let's go ahead and with these, it's kind of crazy. Shift, Command, G. Ungroup 3 times. There seems to be some magic in that. Maybe 2 works, but 4 times. There we go. I don't know what the deal is with the multiple ungroups. This is something that I dealt with before when I went through this, but for right now, leave this at 90. Come to the front face, change that to 50, and change this top face to 20. Now we have a little more of a value change. We can come over to symbols, select this, pull it up, and call this white. So, like I said, these are not, the absolute perfect shades, these tints. Adding white to the base color is a tint. Adding black is a shade. So these aren't the right tints, or they aren't the universal, optimal, best in the universe tints. They're just one way to get the visual illusion of a three-dimensional isometric object. Of course, if you really look at this, you think, hey, perspective is whacked, because these three lines in perspective would all eventually reach some point back here. They would all originate from that point. It's called a vanishing point. The same thing would happen off in this direction. There would be another vanishing point. That's 2-point perspective. In 3-point perspective, this cube would somewhere down way beyond the bottom of this picture. These three lines would all, originate from a point down at the bottom. 1, 2, and 3-point perspective, different ways to generate 3D imagery, but in isometrics, everything's working on these set angles, these 30, 60, 90, that we work, and everything's 30 degrees here, that we're shifting things. So that's the nature of isometrics. We have our 3 starter symbols. Now, you might be saying, okay, big deal. Well, the big deal is in these actions here. Let's come back and play with those.